The Beaker people, a Bronze Age revolution in Britain. Imagine a time, over 4,000 years ago, when Britain was a land of Neolithic farmers, builders of monumental stone circles and long barrows. Then, something profound happened. A new culture, defined by its distinctive pottery, swept across Europe and dramatically reshaped the very fabric of life in Britain. These were the Beaker people. But who were they? Where did they come from? And what was their legacy? The term Beaker people comes from the unique, inverted bell-shaped drinking vessels they used, often beautifully decorated with finely toothed stamps. This archaeological culture, also known as the bell beaker phenomenon, first emerged around 2800 BC in Europe. For a long time, archaeologists debated whether the spread of beaker pottery represented a migration of people or simply the exchange of new ideas. Recent groundbreaking ancient DNA studies have provided a much clearer picture, revealing a complex story. While the beaker culture itself appears to have spread from Iberia, modern-day Spain, and Portugal into Central Europe, without significant movement of people, the story changes dramatically when we look towards Britain. The people who ultimately brought the beaker culture to Britain had a different origin. Their ancestors hailed from the vast Eurasian steppe, migrating westwards into Central Europe. These individuals were often described as tall, heavy-boned, and broad-headed. They were associated with new farming techniques, distinct mortuary practices, and crucially, copper-working skills. Their relentless search for copper and gold would, in fact, greatly accelerate the spread of bronze metallurgy across Europe. Around 2450 BC, or roughly 4,400 years ago, the Beaker people arrived in Britain. This wasn't just a trickle of new ideas. It was a large-scale migration. Within just a few centuries, their arrival led to a near-complete transformation of the local gene pool in Britain. Replacing approximately 90% of the existing Neolithic-derived lineages, they spread across the island, moving north from areas like Kent and southern England. One of the most striking changes they introduced was in burial practices. Unlike the earlier collective burials of the Neolithic period, the Beaker people typically buried their dead in modest, single graves, often beneath round barrows. These burials frequently included a cultural package of grave goods, their distinctive pottery, alongside continental-style archery equipment, and early objects made of copper and gold. The influence of the Beaker people on Britain was profound and marking the end of the Neolithic era and ushering in the early Bronze Age. Perhaps their most significant contribution was the introduction of metalworking to the island. Initially copper and later bronze, this new technology revolutionized tool-making and warfare. Their extensive search for these precious metals further propelled the development of metal. Beyond metal, they brought new farming techniques, contributing to agricultural advancements. Their society appears to have been more hierarchical than previous ones, with evidence suggesting occupational specialization and the emergence of elites, whose status was tied to wealth and control over valuable goods. The presence of weapons in graves and even fortified settlements hints that warfare was not uncommon during this period. While iconic sites like Stonehenge were largely constructed before their arrival, archaeological evidence shows that the Beaker people were present around these ancient monuments, often revisiting and interacting with older Neolithic sites, indicating a connection to historically important places. They also influenced aspects of organized leadership, possibly even introducing horse riding and fermentation. Although their pottery became more regionalized over time in Britain, their impact was undeniable. The Beaker people, shaping ancient Britain. The Beaker people were more than just a pottery style. They were a transformative force. Through their migrations, they brought new technologies, new social structures, and a new genetic landscape to Britain, fundamentally shaping the course of its prehistory and laying the foundations for the Bronze Age. Their story is a powerful reminder of how interconnected ancient societies were and how profound the impact of human movement can be.